Andra, 29th June 2026 was a tragic and in fact a heartbreaking day for Accra because of the big flood. As a Sushina also Ewohono. I'm good day man, and here is good day man update. Make sure to subscribe and like and share. Now, say there has been a series of flood in Accra, but Andra the any day Abusia na no dene.
Okay, ECG substations ne ba ko ene nsu afa hosa no.
Nchiremu chere say nsu wi na nkasa na etoche eto more than some hours na enjai. Eno e kan ho bi ntina nsu na eden etimi esiri efa so sa.
Na ho nsu na ato no. Nam say yen hu bi da. But nsu no dey yen timi control the kind of rainfall ayenya. Now so near walk around no to say dredging ni baby ye sisi adanum ni baby ye to a run no. We have to be more conscious of those things.
Na Abusia saw a lot of heartbreaking incidents that occurred during this flooding. There was a scene of a fire outbreak during this same flooding now at some part of Circle.
Hey, Charlie, the way the rate everybody. Hey, fireman, the government should buy a helicopter for Ghana Fire Service to fight this fire outbreak.
And we got a report that through this, some people lost their lives and others too nearly lost theirs. And in another scene, we saw people watch as the flood swept away their homes, buildings, motor vehicles, motorcycles.
Hey, Charlie, they carry the cars away.
Oh, my brother. So sorry. Can't go. Bye. Let me see the other car.
Yes, I don't even know. Bridge and so many put on for the past 2 hours. On day tax in on putting in Quano.
That black or on a side. A man for fear now, you know. Down.
And there was a scene whereby a mall, China mall, in Suna Bowra warehouse or you see, a Bowra warehouse or I could check in Yamana Mapaka going then people were picking it. In fact, as a sad provisions, biscuits, tissue, toffee, chewing gum, anything like those provisions, In fact, it's only chini in box. It's only chini in free warehouse or quabantine. Nandi, man for guso. Sasa, and the man for Sasa Panago. But whilst this is a sad incident, others too were happy. Now the most of your money, like money, I just say, that provisions, almost a
I'm a church imagine. Company is here, China for me as a maniati. A money here, anything I'm a man soon at Tono. Who coach man now 500 cedi a month, 400 cedi. It must have your problem. Yeah, I want to say, Yahoo. If you have 3-2, I'm not going to national banum. If you go school, yeah, go school. 500 must solve your problem. 8 means solve your problem. It's not a bono as well as a tono. A bono a kayanse. And here and then I didn't know. Biscuit no, me going to be a school no. Biscuit in tea. Mr. Go school there. Or China, Mr. Biscuit. You got the chairman good school money in a match and the Macana as a Macon.
But the rescue team, so they did their best to save lives, to save some people who, who were in danger. Then His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, they went for an area tour with the presidential helicopter to see what was actually going on. Now
the flooding in Accra is not an engineering problem. It is just a problem of indiscipline. It's not an engineering problem, it's a problem of indiscipline. We have drains, and everybody says, why don't you do sealed drains? But the problem is when we do sealed drains, people drink sachet water, they eat papaya in those styrofoam plastics, and they just dump them anywhere. And these plastics wash into the drain, and they go and block the drain. And so if you have to unclog the drain, you have to remove all the drain covers and clean it out. You clean it out, you cover it again. In the next 3, 4, 5 months, they have clogged again. But that is not even the major problem. The major problem is the location of Accra. You have the Kwapim mountain range, and you have the Atlantic Ocean. Before people came to Accra, you had the Lafa stream, you had the Densu, you had the Sakumo stream, you had the Kole stream, you had the Odo stream.
So after His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and then assess observe what happened. Then he said this.
We just finished an aerial tour of Accra to inspect the flooded areas. Unfortunately, the flooding has been very extensive today for several reasons. One, the recorded rainfall today is one of the highest in several years. The Meteo are looking at approximately 140 millimeters that was dumped on Accra. Last year, the maximum rainfall was 56 on a single day. And so the volumes are much higher. And so there are many issues to the flooding in Accra. There's climate. If you look at the rainfall pattern from 2024, 2025, 2026, you see that increasingly every year we're getting more rain in Accra than we used to get. GMET say that in 2024, for a period of 30 days in June, we had 85 millimeters of rain. And then in 2025, it increased to 172. And then in 2026, for the same 30-day period in June, it increased to 333. And so the waterways are not getting a chance to recover before more rain is dumped. And the wet days are more. Out of 30 days, 22 days, it kept raining. And so there were only 7 dry days or 8 dry days in June. And so that's the climate side. That is an act of God that we can't control. But then there's also the engineering and the man-made causes. That is, like I said before, Accra is built between 2 natural bodies, the Kwapim Mountain Range and the Atlantic Ocean. And before Accra was built, the streams used to flow through this plain to reach the sea. Now, the British brought the capital to Accra, and in those years it was not a problem because Accra was a very small city. But as the population continues to increase and people continue to build, it restricts the path of the streams on their way to the Atlantic. So that's an engineering problem. We need to see how to open the channel so that the water can pass. But then there's also the other aspect, which is attitudinal and human behavior. That is dumping garbage in the drains, putting all kinds of items in the drains after we finish creating waste. Instead of sending it to the appropriate place, even in the air, we discovered many illicit dumping sites where the wetlands are. People have gone to create a waste dumping ground, and they charge 20 cedis for the aboboya to come and fill the waste into the wetlands. And when it has filled sufficiently, they sell the land to people to come and build on it. And so we need to, one, look at it from an engineering perspective in terms of how we can open up the channels, but at the same time, look at how we can identify all the buildings that are obstructing the waterways. We've said this many times. I'm tired of hearing it. But anytime you begin to take action and you start breaking houses, people think that government is inhumane. But when the problem arises like this flood, it affects everybody. And so all of us have been affected because of the conduct of a few people blocking the channels and preventing the water from passing. And so we'll call a National Security Council meeting. We're asking every district to identify, together with the Works and Housing Ministry, where the blockages in the channels are as they pass through the district assemblies, so that we can earmark those places for removal. We'll not only break the houses, we have to move the rubble out of the way, because there's no use breaking a house and leaving the rubble in the waterway. It's just the same as leaving the house. And so it's going to be quite a major issue in order to resolve the problem of Accra. But ultimately, the other solution will be to decongest Accra. And that's why we're planning that we move some of the city out, that is the major government departments, and then also create a new center of growth so that our people will start building outside Accra in a new city, instead of everybody looking for some space in Accra to build. So, but that's a long-term solution. Like I said, it's a 20-year project. They are still working on the designs. Once they do that, we'll demarcate. People can start buying plots. If they like, they can start building houses. We'll do the roads, bring the water and electricity, so that it eases the pressure on Accra as a city. But I just want to express my sympathy with people who have lost property. Loss of property has been very extensive, and I want to thank the military, NADMO, the police, and the Hydro Works and Housing Ministry, and all the emergency response team, 48th Engineers Regiment, for the rescue that they did. I've seen many of the videos where people had to be carried out of their houses. They deployed their boats, and they helped to save quite a lot of lives. NADMO will do what it can to try and identify the victims and see how we can just support them in a way in the next few days. I've asked the Minister of Finance to release some money from the contingency fund so that we can do some post-flood relief for persons who have been affected. And so let me again express my sympathy, but let us change our attitude and let us find a permanent solution to this Accra flooding problem. We shouldn't become like the vulture who, anytime it is raining. He says as soon as it stops raining, he will repair his roof. And then as soon as it stops raining, he says, oh, it has stopped raining, so there's no need to repair the roof. This time should be different.
So after this, then Ebonowa 2 came out. Hope we all know Ebonowa. Yeah, this guy on a Shenkom say in 2025, say on 25th December, yeah, in Subeshiri, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Police are arresting a man heading Accra. Now, we incident we see na Ebonowa about.
My name is Ebo Noah. When we talk, you don't listen. Because I am not your pastor. I am not your prophet. I am nobody. But God said, Ebo, go and tell the people that it will rain. It is going to flood. I said it. And I was arrested. No problem. No problem. But now, see what is happening. See how people's properties are being destroyed. See the lives. I'm very sad. You want your pastor to say it before you believe. You want your prophet to say it before you believe. God can use anybody. I have seen it, and I said it, and I was arrested. But no problem. It's all good. But now I want you to do your things right. Because do your things right. Do your things right. No more talking. The rain will talk for us. Still, the name is Ebo Noah. This coming few days, this coming weeks, a lot is going to happen. And please again, do your things right.
Yeah, repeat, yeah, can down back, still now by proper layout. There's no layout, no drainage, and choke gutters. In fact, say you know so to two pallets and there, I say deep pallets in Musa said His Excellency Kayano. Say you know so, and I say deep pallets in money a jar to gutter no. A choke, I say in soon my empire see through the flood never back. There be a disaster, see never ever happen. So we have to keep the environment clean and then make sure say we have a proper layout. Recently I saw say now I'm Buddha in my CC in soon in so I saw it and with me who died nice building power, but you have to get it down. So just to get a proper passage for water. So if says so land when your land now you see they have to no say in so and I say any baby in so to everything I did Eshirafa. That's my opinion, but so let me know your opinion. Let me know your opinion at the comment section. I'm Goodman, and here's Goodman update. Please subscribe, like, and share.